Okay, this is my old Stanley vacuum bottle. And I've had this for, I mean, it's gotta be close to maybe 10, 15 years at this point. And this little guy right here saved my butt on several occasions. But in one in particular, I remember very specifically, and it was the winter of 2018, 2019. I was assigned to the night shift and working on the railroad between White Plains and the Bronx, New York. So nighttime in the winter, I forgot how much colder it gets at night. I mean, it drops down quite a bit. A lot of times you're out there is below zero. Plus you have like kind of this wind tunnel effect of the railroad. You know, there's no trees or anything, so it just kind of blows down those tracks like crazy. It freezes you. Well, my wife would make this really good butternut squash bisque, and it was awesome. There's onions in there, it was delicious. Well, I'll tell you what, when I would put that in this and I would bring it out with me, there'd be a group of us huddled out by the temporary lighting because, you know, it's powered by a little engine. Essentially, it's a generator with a light tower on it. And we'd just huddle around that thing trying to keep warm. And I would sit there with my little bowl of butternut squash bisque, and it saved my butt. It's hard to describe really how a hot lunch at 1 o'clock can bring up your mood, but this little guy right here was kind of like my lifeline. I look forward to that every night. Now, I've got to claim ignorance. I sort of thought that Stanley made, you know, 1 or 2 sizes of these, and that was kind of it. Because this is the one that you usually see. They make one that's more like shaped like a bullet, a little bit taller than this, so a few different sizes of this is all I thought they made until I went to their website and I was like blown away at their selection. So that's what I want to show you today. This is not sponsored by Stanley or anything like that. These just happen to be products which last forever and are very affordable, so it fits right in with stuff that I do on this channel. Plus, I just thought it was a cool, kind of old school, like I like that. I think they call it their hammer tone green color. These are instantly recognizable and just old school cool, in my opinion. Now, before I continue, I just want to thank new subscribers, Rob Duma, Lost and Found, great name, and Ben Aiken. Your support really does mean the world to me, so thank you very much. All right, so I just want to run you through some of the products that I got from Stanley because they're super cool. And I don't think it gets much more iconic than a steel lunchbox. This is actually stainless steel, believe it or not. This is their larger they have 2 sizes. This is the larger one. But there's no more classic combo than this coupled with a vacuum bottle like this. You know, a lot of times you can put soup or whatever you want, and it fits in the lid underneath this little wire keeper. It works perfectly, and it's just like, it's so iconic that it almost looks like it might be a movie prop or something. I mean, how often do you really see these? You know, like something like this. And I gotta tell you, not only is it functional, now let's just get this right out of the way. It's not insulated, so if you're looking to keep things cool or hot, you're gonna have to sort of sub-categorize them inside with something like this, or, you know, a cool pack or whatever. This is really meant to just hold all your stuff, but it's so heavy that it could honestly, it could like double as a weapon. I mean, if you really wanted to bash somebody with that, you could, but I mean, it's stainless steel. And the cool thing about these, as compared to those soft coolers, which seems like everybody on the job site is carrying now, these right here don't break down. You know what I mean? You'll have this thing forever. Everything on it is serviceable. You know, I don't see anything that is really gonna break very easily on it. And the other thing is, if you work near heat or sparks or anything like that, this is definitely gonna last a hell of a lot longer than those nylon things. You know, this stainless steel is gonna shrug off pretty much everything. Now, as I mentioned before, it's not insulated, but it does have quite a bit of capacity. This is the larger of the 2 sizes. They do have one which actually has 1 latch in the middle rather than the 2 here. This is pretty big. I mean, I could see this really holding quite a bit. Even like the apprentice that I had who would eat like 4 or 5 sandwiches a day, he'd be happy with this. Most people would probably want the smaller one, but I mean, talk about iconic, the classic lunchbox. Now, the smaller one is $35. I think that this larger one is $45, if I'm not mistaken. But isn't that cool? Even look on the bottom, it has that sort of military-looking stuff. It says, you know, do not microwave and stuff. But I don't know. I love this sort of industrial look of this. Again, that cool hammer tone green. And they have a couple of different colors if you don't like that. All right, next up is this guy right here. Now, this is a water bottle that can honestly double as a sink. Look how big it is. It's huge. This is a 40-ounce water bottle. And the way it works is it has this little flip-up straw right here, so it keeps it in this little recess which keeps some, debris and stuff out of it. It's not entirely covered, so if it's dusty or whatever, you're still probably gonna wanna wipe it off, but I like the fact that it hides nicely in its little nook there. 40 ounces, this thing it's got a capacity that really, it's pretty incredible, especially my other water bottles are all 20 ounce, and this is, double that. Now, it has a little straw that goes down inside, just a vacuum insulated container there. And what I like about this in particular, so I have some from another brand, which I won't name here, but with this same kind of spout design with the straw. And the problem is that when you drink out of it, you create suction, and after a little while, you almost have to drink in sips to sort of release the pressure. I haven't found that with this. Now, part of that might be because of the capacity that it's so big that, no matter how much you are drinking out of it, you don't get that vacuum kind of thing. But I haven't found that at all. It's really worked out very well. I think that they may have put some sort of a pressure release valve in there somewhere, but everything's really hidden. Again, everything's really sturdy plastic. It feels like it's gonna last for a long, long time. I like the fact that they put this serious handle on there, because when this thing is filled up to capacity, it's pretty big. Now, one of the things that I didn't really know what it was is, see this little thing right here? I had to look it up on their website. This is called a fence hook. So I guess if you're, at sporting events or something like that, you can literally hook it on something. Now, if you don't have a fence, on in your vicinity or something like that, you can hook it on any number of things. Put it on your belt loop if you want to look like super cool. But anyway, I've been liking this a lot. And you've actually probably seen this in the background of some of my other videos, because when I'm blathering on like this, I tend to drink a lot of water. I like this little guy. Now, this is called the Ice Flow Flip Straw Jug or something like that. It's $40, so basically $1 an ounce. So I'm on a mission in 2021 to learn how to make better coffee. It's something I've been trying to work on behind the scenes here, one of my preferred methods is the French press. I like it because it tends to create like a heavier coffee. You get a little bit of sediment in there. I like that kind of thing. I'm a weirdo, what can I say? This is the one that I've been using right here. This is from like Bodum or however you call that, I don't know. But anyway, it works very well. The problem is it's glass, so you have to be careful with it. And also, it doesn't hold heat worth a damn. You make coffee in this thing, and if you make the full container worth, you're gonna get a couple of cups out of it. The problem is that when you put this aside, it cools off really quickly. So your second cup, it doesn't hold any heat, which sucks for coffee. Well, that's where this little guy came in handy. Now, it's kind of the same idea as a lot of these other things, where it's a vacuum insulated base, but it has this great stainless steel mesh, filter here, and it's, even has an insulated lid. So when you make coffee in this, it stays hot. So you can make a lot of coffee. Obviously, the capacity is a little bit bigger in this, and it'll stay warm. So if you're on a campsite, or if you're on the job, or if you just are one of those people who just lives off caffeine, you could make your French press coffee and then actually have it hot for quite a while. It says it'll keep it hot for up to 4 hours, which should be long enough for anybody to wake their ass up in your campsite to get out to get breakfast. But the other thing about this compared to my glass one is this will handle a job site or a campsite, or if you're just a klutz like me, very well, because it's metal. It's not gonna go anywhere. All these things have a serious feeling of heft to them. This isn't just some junk, So I like that fact that it's basically bulletproof, that you could whack into the, this would last a week on the job, This, on the other hand, I again, feel like these things will be around for probably longer than I will. So this is called the Stay Hot French Press, and it can be yours for $65. Well, this can't be yours, but you can get one for yourself for $65. All right, finally, we have this monster right here. Now, the reason I wanted to get this was because I'm so used to like Boy Scout mess kits, the ones that are all dented up. I think they're made out of aluminum. They're very lightweight and they work fine, especially for backpacking or, when I was a Boy Scout and stuff. If you're somebody who's into car camping, or, everybody's doing this van thing right now, or just camping in general, something like this really works out well. The nice thing about this little guy, because you can see it's actually a pretty small size, is it has a lot within it. So you pack this thing up and you're good to go for up to 4 people. Inside, you have a drying rack, 4 sporks, a cutting board, 4 plates, 4 bowls, a 2-piece serving spoon, a 2-piece spatula, 3-ply frying pan, vented lid, all inside a 3.5-liter stainless steel pot. And what's cool too is even with all that stuff in there, this being stainless steel, the whole shebang weighs under 6 pounds. So not that I would use this as my go-to backpacking thing, unless you were the person who's carrying all the food supplies for the group that you're in. Because that's 6 pounds is still quite a bit to carry around with you. But again, car camping, any of that kind of thing,
frying pan itself.
One of the things I gotta say about this is the feels a lot more substantial to the one bottom that I was using. Feels a lot more substantial. Which was just 1 ply, really meant for lightweight. But this thing actually holds heat nicely, distributes it pretty well, so you can actually make a decent meal out of it. And this whole thing right here is $80, and I think that's I think it's a bargain for what you get. Pretty damn cool. Now, speaking of cookware, have you seen the video that I did on cast iron? It was a little while ago, and I talked about its history and the benefits of cast iron. Well, if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out right here, or wherever it appears. This whole thing's flipped on me, I don't know. So these are just a few of the products that Stanley has to offer. Again, what I like about them is I dig that cool old school copper, green, whatever they call it, color. I like that a lot. Again, Stanley didn't pay me to make this video or anything. I just thought that this stuff really fit in with the vibe of this channel, which has always been high quality stuff for a decent price, a good value, in other words. So I know that you guys probably have a ton of stories about Stanley things that you've owned. Maybe things have changed over the years. Either way, I want to know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.